Welcome in, everyone. Only took 2 tries that time. How we all doing today? Hi, I'm Chef JT. We're gonna be doing a little Creole and Cajun again tonight. Little slow-cooked pork action. Little grits action. Little corn cast iron tomato pepper onion thing. That's our plans for the evening. How are all of you lovely people? Boo. Boo to no shrimp. That was the plan, Master Splits. Though I doubt I'm going to make them exactly how he liked them. But the plan was to make some cheesy grits. We have cheddar, I have American, I have all sorts of cheese. Hi, JK. Start heating the pan back there. The man was a machine. Building houses in his 80s. So what else do we season the pork with? Just... Is tonight another night where all we need is Tony's? Do you use pepper when you use Tony's? Asking the important questions here. Yeah, I'm a black pepper until it smells of black pepper. A lot of the time, guy. I can smell that pan, so it's warm enough for the moment. How do you feel about sour cream in your grits? Because I think I'm going to try that out tonight. I definitely don't think it's traditional, but... Hey, Squeaks. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Appreciate your company here. Cheers. Yeah, you've used your generator too much, Splits. It's coming up with weird stuff now. Not sure I'll be a fan of that. I don't like my grits too smooth. It's certainly, like, I haven't tried it before. I was just sort of thinking, I have sour cream. It's another form of dairy that I could add in there. By the way, I wanted to apologize. I went too far with the whole anti-vegetarian, anti-vegan stuff the last stream. That was a little cringe. So let's get on pork. So we got more country ribs tonight, just because cooking a larger hunk of pork was not going to work out lovely. Heat back on over here. Separate these, and we're going to season them all just with some Tonys to start. Because I do respect wanting to cut down on a number, like, a lot of stuff that isn't carefully curated is high-end food is being put through some pretty nasty machinery. And I can understand wanting to support that, not wanting to help support the CAFOs of the world. Specifically keeping it to beef, but whatever factory, whether you're talking about how they keep pig mothers or yeah, I know. It's just still I hope you have a good burger that makes up for the lack of shrimp. Okay, that's what we're going with. I'm gonna skip the pepper. We're just gonna go with just... Oh, hey. Would help if I turned the camera so all of you could see this loveliness. I went and seasoned these pretty heavily here, both sides, with Tony's. We're definitely smoking over here. I'll turn that down a little bit. We'll start searing. Yeah, and a lot of, well, you gotta consider there aren't very many strict vegan restaurants out there. And so the chefs making a lot of these vegan menus are trying to please someone else, or, you know, like some fictional person in their mind, or maybe there's someone in the neighborhood, or they have some direct reference back, but most of the time they're just like, well, maybe they'll like this. We already have burger buns, we have lettuce, we have all the stuff for a burger. Let's grill portobello. Or maybe they don't even put that much thought into it and they just grab the black bean burger at Cash and Carry. Portobello is a horrible mushroom. Like, I've been sort of almost defending it by not talking it for a while, but very little is improved by adding portobello. Like, I think about the only dish I've ever had with a portobello that I thought was decent was a stuffed portobello, which I never see on menus. And it's always just, let's douse it in cheap crap, not real balsamic, and roast it until it's wilted and nasty. Or we'll throw it onto the grill. It is just never good. And of the major mushrooms that are sold at the store, it's the one I have the least preference of the flavor for. I like creminis thousands of times better. And they're exact same mushroom a couple hours earlier. Sorry to the portobello lovers in chat. I went on a rant. Impossible's in a different Impossible's in a different world. Most of these, like, new meat people, they're not really doing... they're not doing what they're selling. I forget if it's Impossible or Beyond or which one it is, but one of them's stated goal and stated plan, and most of them are along the same line, is we're going to carbon capture, be good for the environment and carbon capture, and then we're going to use essentially large-scale brewing with genetics to turn that carbon into the things we want, and then we turn it into beef. And right now, most of them are doing that by lying about it and using some sort of, like, corn substitutes or... like, they have great goals, but right now the companies mostly exist to be the first to, claim the fame. They're trying to be the first one in the game. And the game doesn't exist yet. Dungeness crab cakes served with a Chateaubriand inside a grilled stuffed burrito. That sounds lovely. Why don't you make that for me, Splits? Actually thinking of, I'm not the biggest Dom Perignon fan. Like, it's not bad. It's an experience, and it's certainly unique leading to its prestige. But yeah, I just not into the whole mushroom funk. Do you scrape the gills on your portobellos, or you just leave it in? It's a little like asking if you're a shrimp eater, if you devein or like the algae. The people doing that are worried about E. coli, and because in most cases, mushrooms are grown in manure and more specifically manure with hay. And most cases all cases it's supposed to be, that manure has been pasteurized by letting it sit in a giant heap in the heat from letting it sit there, sort of self-cooks itself. But that's what they're worried about. They're worried about, because that's what can get into the gills and all of that. The gills are great at holding all of that. What are you looking at, camera? That's the back of my head. I'm on rinsing mushrooms. Definitely take any buildup or gunk off of them. Most of the time it ruins the texture for me. You can certainly, like, the hack to rinsing and cleaning your mushrooms is really to do it ahead of time. If you rinse them and let them set for a good 15-20 minutes, and let them turn back and air dry and come back, they're going to be perfectly fine. My problem is I'll rinse them off and immediately start working on them, and then they turn into a soggy mess. The practice of fluting mushrooms is for that same reason, you know, remove any of the potential sediment on the outside of them, because before modern day, it wasn't necessarily all pasteurized soil that was being used to grow them. Again, if you just let them sit, it's a sort of a, if you process them as they're wet sort of a thing, or they don't deal with change well. I guess we'll use the whole thing. I wasn't planning on using the whole bag for this, but it's not defrosted, so I don't have much of a better plan. Set the meat off to the side here for a minute, and we'll chop up ourselves a red onion to go in with our meat. Wasn't washing the onion there, by the way. I was more washing the piece of the onion stuck in my hand. Yeah, we'll clean my knife. Flute of Merlot. What's everyone's gotta have Halloween dish? Like, is there some dish or some dinner? Like, maybe it's just your family does it, but is there some dish or some dinner, or what is it that your family does on Halloween? Oh, lovely. Analysis is broke again. Even though I haven't changed how chat's being recorded. October's chili month? Can I just say that TwitchCon seems to have gotten quite tame? Like, we've gone from live streams following people into bathrooms to just people dressing up like dogs with shock collars. It just doesn't have the spark anymore. Yeah, it's sort of weird, like, it does sort of feel like winter you have more of a right to be cooking heartier, hotter dishes. But I say that as someone that, it doesn't need to be spicy, it doesn't even, like, if there's something hot on a menu, I'm immediately picking that over the colder options. Like, it could be a hot, BLT, and I'll take that over the cold sandwich. So that's sort of hard, like, it's sort of like in summer, it's sort of like I just don't feel like eating as much, even though I still ate too much. Come on, melt already. We're going to add a fair amount of salt in there. Grinder's getting low. It wasn't grinding that entire time I was turning it. I get the heel out of all the rest of this? Nope. First one I grab has a piece of the heel in it. Alright, gonna add all the onion in with the stock. Yeah, you're a spice lover. I get that too. We'll go ahead and add our pork back in there. And there's our pork started. Arugula shrimp salad served with beef Wellington and a side of crab stuffed portobello mushrooms, paired with chocolate souffle and a flute of Chardonnay. Well, Chardonnay would never go in a flute, but unless it's some weird Chardonnay. Chocolate souffle, all the rest of that sounds relatively good. Like, maybe the arugula shrimp salad as an appetizer, though. Because that with Wellington, with stuffed mushrooms, that's... I know you're using your generator thingy, but like as an appetizer, it's fine. The Wellington crab is, and the crab stuffed portobello is more main dish territory. Like, I would be not shocked if you could order those dishes at a Ramsay restaurant, the steak restaurant. Minus they wouldn't serve you the Chardonnay in a flute, but they might have a chocolate souffle. I don't know if they do souffles. I'm basically bringing up them because he's Mr. Wellington. But the rest of that is all stuff that I could see being in a steakhouse. Old school, like, steakhouse. I don't know how it would fly today with the world of, to-go. Well, flute is typically a champagne glass. But Chardonnay, you can use Chardonnay grapes in a champagne, but typically it's not. Like, typically someone says Chardonnay and they're talking still wine. And because I have a horrible memory, I can't remember what the exact grapes, I knew they use champagne grapes, but what their other blending grapes are for actual champagne made in Champagne. Hey, Bakery. Like, I could definitely see a crab stuffed portobello dish as a side at a steakhouse. There, along with the asparagus and... Boo. Done with our coffee already. Let's see here. Let's finish this plate up. Okay, I'm going to be using canned corn for the dish here. I'm going to start turning this down, trying to keep it bubbling, but just barely bubbling. So I'm going to grab a can of corn. We'll grab another onion. Glad I did, too, because this one's looking like it's on the edge. That isn't how I wanted to cut this. Oh well. We're gonna dice the rest of this. I greet everyone at the beginning of stream today? I'm feeling like I spaced on that beginning of stream today. Let's make sure and say hello to... Let's see who all... We had Zeke's, Soph, Nan Reader, JK all check in. And welcome all of you. This pan is over here is going to be for our corn dish. Bit of sunflower oil in the pan. And flame on if it wants to cooperate. Cooperate, please. There we go. Turn this pork down just a touch further. I'm wondering how the alcohol industry is going to hook Gen Z. Because they haven't done it yet. Oh, Zima's been around much longer than the Zoomers have. Zima's been around longer than I've been drinking. Like, I remember Zima commercials on TV as a kid. Zeke's, you trying to reel in a Zoomer? What happened to all those peppers I have in here? They're hidden in here back behind everything. Hi, Kip. Though not authentically. I'm sort of surprised that Jimmy Carter's favorite dish doesn't involve peanuts. Need to turn you off for a second. Onions are getting too far cooked before I can throw the celery and pepper in there. Sitting here thinking about peanuts, and I'm wondering who produces more, the US or Asia, or America or Asia. Because there's a lot of Asian dishes that use peanuts. And it's got me wondering how much of the American push to peanuts is old politics. Make it ours. And usually the fourth in global production doesn't do hardly anything. Of anything. Thank you, Bakery. Should be the peanut state instead of the peach state. Yeah, I never, well... Who doesn't love a good peach? Like, doesn't sound so good with peanuts. Ooh, boiled peanut fan. Welcome, welcome. I need some water. So is everyone excited for me to try and cook in a costume on Halloween? Okay, where did it... I thought I had more celery than that. Did I dump the last of it? I must have dumped the last of it into the stock. Yeah, that's fennel. That'll be good for tonight, but wasn't what I was looking for. I had to have more celery in here somewhere. Oh well, I'm giving up my search. T-Rex you don't want me to try and be the, what is it, emote? Isn't that a raptor? I guess that's a Komodo. Alright, adding the peppers in with the onions. Turn the heat back on. Everyone see that they made a new moderator tag at TwitchCon this year. They held a vote during the opening series for a super moderator or head moderator. And like, I'm sorry to Ozzy, but Ozzy isn't going to get it, but it's essentially like able to handle just about everything with the channel sort of a thing, can make other people admins sort of a level of access. Like, it gives it basically, like, I haven't looked over the details, but from watching the opening show, they made it sound like they can basically do everything but hijack your stream. Which, yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be drama with that now. Which is funny if any of you ever joined Twitch's CEO's Discord. Yeah, it's only going to be for like 1 or 2 people on a channel. It's probably only can put 1 person on it. Like, the vote was sort of a joke, though. Like, they put a hammer in there. Like, when are they not going to vote for the hammer? For a mod? He's sort of like, why did you bother? And it got something like 70% of the vote. I'm sort of happy with my choice to have not gone this year. And sticking to my every other so far. I don't know if I really want to go next year right now, but Add the tomatoes in with the peppers and onions. Well, partly it's almost becoming like MCC Con. Because they hold MCC, their Minecraft competition thing. And they take over like the main stadium for like they were taking over the main stadium like all of today. That's the way it was. That's the way it's been for a couple of years now. But it's sort of like, come on, guys, this is your show. Like, what are you doing? They very much were obviously hurting for sponsors after the debacle with last year too. Like, they didn't have major sponsors on all of their banners all over the place like they used to. They had a couple of select ones, and it was like Luna was one of the major sponsors of it. Like, okay, Amazon. But for those that don't remember last year, what happened with the controversy was you had several events that were political in nature and right there in front of sponsors' things, I forget if it was they're making fun of Palestinians or they're making fun of Jews or one of the two. And so that was a big fallout after the last TwitchCon, and add a little bit of garlic in there with the pork. Actually, let's do 2 of these in with the pork. Creole seasoning. The salty kind. Using the lid of the can to strain it. The corn's ready to go in when we need it or want it. I didn't have bacon fat to throw in this. This is traditionally started, or old school started with bacon fat. Went to the farmer's market this morning and was surprised to notice, and this is a good thing, because a lot of small businesses start up in farmer's markets. Not one of the food vendors at the farmer's market were, like, this is a farmer's market that's been around for a while. I know it's under new management, relatively new management, but, like, it had a set crew of people that made food there every week. Not one of them was there. And every single one of them still was filled with other new people, and I don't think I recognized a single one of them. Which hopefully is great. Alright, gonna cut the heat on this because this is good to go. I'm ready to add the corn in there, herbs, finish it off with a little dairy. That's ready. Pork is doing nice. It has been simmering along lovely, but it is certainly not there. Turn all of these, make sure they're all getting lots of love. That liquid's looking lovely. We'll come back over here and we'll it was sort of funny at the same time because most of them resembled the old vendors. Like, there's an Indian vendor that I believe has her own restaurant these days, but still does Die Hard at the markets every week. She wasn't there. They had a different Indian stand doing much of the same setup under a different name. They had a hot sandwich, griddle, BLTs, that sort of stuff, doing sandwiches, but they were doing more like steak sandwiches, but same sort of setup. Yeah. Which is really sort of strange, because it must be that the management has decided they want to refresh things up, or because I know the guy that was doing the sandwiches, I went to college with him, and you know, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of him. He shows up like half of the time, but like exact same setup as him, and I know he wouldn't be just giving up his spot. Like, it's what he does. Let's see here. What was I also? Oh, cheese. We need to grate some cheese. We need to make some cheese grate. So my next question with the whole wearing a costume on Halloween, which is not something I've done on stream, as I remember. Like, I think one year I sort of did a half costume. But what sort of dish would you like me try to prepare? Like, I'm still sort of filling out my Halloween. We've got 3 days of Halloween dinners. And I'm still sort of like, there's some things that I want to do, but that last day in particular on Halloween, I have no clue what I really want to do. But I'll be doing it in a costume. New season of Witcher. So we got cheese for our grits. No, I hadn't heard, but I'm also unfamiliar with the show to be. I don't get any. I really should pay more attention, but like I don't know what's on any of these streaming channels these days anymore. I don't have any of the streaming services. I wish I could relate, but I really don't know. And I sort of doubt that they... Well, I don't know the story, but I get the impression that Henry Cavill probably just sort of walked away. Yeah, but it affects me even less. And I really could care less about what the Kardashians are doing. Good chat. you need more stock out here for... do we use this, or do we use... Nice. Pork stock. But I think we're mostly just chilling at this point. We got our slow cooked pork to make slow cooked. Got the pork stock out and our cheese grated for making our grits. Let's get the grits out. Make sure there's still grits in here. Yeah, there's some grits in there. Less grits than I thought, but we're still got enough. I'm definitely going to be using the last of my grits tonight. I could also tell you that I'm paying no attention to what Mr. Beast is doing right now either. Since this only takes a couple minutes, let's see how long it says on here it takes to make. Yeah, these are only going to take 10 minutes. I think we're going to do a little bit of an AFK here. Do we want to do music with a timer? Because like these, they've only got about an hour into them. We probably need at least another hour on them. Fun idea for jack-o'-lantern stuffed pepper. Ooh, jack-o'-lantern stuffed portobellos. Use the stem as the stem. Make it look like you're looking down on a pumpkin. Yeah, I'm really sort of kidding after my conversation earlier about portobellos. Maybe could do it, but... The challenging one is probably going to be Sunday. Let me look at the calendar here. Make sure I'm not talking nonsense. Let's see here. Nope. We want to look at October, not November. Yeah, it's the Sunday before. Probably gonna be like, I have my brain mold. It's a plastic mold that looks like a brain, and I'm planning on using that for something this year, if only because I bought it with intention of using it for multiple years, price-wise. And so we're going to do something with that probably on the Sunday. And the reason I'm going to do a little more time with it is because I need to... Like, I tried doing it before filled with pasta, and it sort of worked, but mostly it lost all of its definition because the spaghetti didn't... Like, it fit the mold nicely, and it molded nicely, but when you took the mold off of it, it sort of disappeared the idea that it was a brain. It was just sort of like a nicely formed brain shape, with none of the wrinkles showing through other than there's spaghetti there. So I will be back here in an hour. I'll still be lurking in chat, and able to chat with all of you. And we're just going to let the pork cook. Okay, folks, we got about another minute here of ads for the people that have to see the ads. But we're gonna get rolling here soon. We're gonna start by making sure that pork is properly directly underneath that heater. I moved it off to the side of the burner so that it would sort of be more in the camera during the break. But I am confident it is held hot enough temp that we're okay. Go ahead and move that over there now. We'll return heat to our onions, peppers, tomato, garlic deliciousness that we're going to add corns to here now. Corns. Corn kernels? There we go. Although an ear of corn is going to give you more corn than this one can. But I bet good money that there's more than one ear of corn in this can. We'll hit that with a bit more Tony Cacciari Creole seasoning. Some more black pepper. It actually wants to grind. Is it out of pepper again? Am I out of pepper? Am I out of pepper? It does appear so. We're going to turn this down a bit. Actually, we're going to put it on the back burner and turn it down. Frozen pizzas? Hey, Gearbox Man. What brand? What's the family choice of frozen pizza? add our pork stock to start melting down for our grits. Muskie, welcome in. I agree, frozen pizza is much better if you cook it first. Red Baron. Good puffy pizza. I was actually debating pizza for Halloween. Like my family's thing, I was saying earlier, I was asking, I don't know if I really heard anyone respond, but I didn't see anyone respond, rather. Can't hear chat. Anyways, my family's thing on Halloween when I was a kid was we always did pizza. We do pizza, and then sometimes we do holiday sightseeing stuff because it would already be up. But I don't think that really happened so much this year. And now everyone does all the Halloween stuff. Like when I was a kid, houses really only did stuff up, other than like maybe one or two in a city. Houses did not decorate for Halloween. Now it's like a thing. Like now you got houses in, I forget if it was Florida or Texas, getting the fire department called on them because they look so realistic that people think there's an actual fire going on in their house. It's taken a little far. Do you put extra things on your frozen pizzas? Or do you just live with them as they are? I generally just leave them as they are myself. But I did grow up in a family where my mom most certainly is going to add more pepperoni, is going to add another layer of cheese. Seeing both sides there. Yeah, I'm much more the simple, no fuss. Their directions are for the toppings that they have, so you load it up with cheese, and sometimes you end up with, like, not properly, you gotta do more. Of course, we live in many more options again than I was a kid in the frozen pizza aisle. Like, there was frozen pizza. We have any Stouffer's French Red Pizza fans in chat? Do you consider that pizza? Or is that something sort of like separate from pizza? Like, I would sort of accept people liking Stouffer French bread pizza, but it not being their number one frozen pizza pick. It's sort of like pizza rolls. Like, I wouldn't put pizza rolls in the same place as pizzas either. Not that I'm not a big pizza roll fan. Sorry, Tostinos. Maybe that's something I should do. That's one I could do on stream. We could do pizza rolls. Make pizza rolls on stream. Like mini pizza rolls. Someone post that in the Discord so I don't forget it. Because, like, I'm still wondering what I'm going to do for Halloween at the end of the month. The onions I don't necessarily get. Tomatoes I sort of get because Taco Bell tomatoes are hard. Like, they're buying the center cuts on them, or they're only using the center cuts on their dice for their tacos. Like, maybe they're themselves are processing tomatoes and using the other pieces, but there is no way you get that many pieces right next to, like, the leaf or the stem attachment of the tomato as you get in Taco Bell tomatoes. It's like every third one of theirs is a piece of the top stem attachment. Man. How's our pork looking? It's pretty firm still. Thinner it is, the softer it is right now. This one's pretty much ready to go back here. This one's pretty good. But this one, yeah. Surprisingly, this one isn't as good as these ones back here. How's our stock looking? We about ready to. We need you to boil. We'll keep it in with this. Let's use parsley anyways. And we're gonna fill this up to a half cup, or to a cup, with half and half. This is going in here with butter. That's what we're cooking our grits in. And I'm hoping I have this much in here. Close enough. I need more for that. Let's get rid of the old one. Going to add a bit of half and half up here with the corn as well. Grits. Grabbing a good pinch of this parsley, and that's going in with the corn as well. Like I said, that one's ready. Yeah, not worried about that. No, I didn't mean to stop the music. Keep going, music. Keep going. Move the cheese out of the way here for a moment. Turn the grits way down low. And now I need a fork spoon. Get all that flavor off the side of the pan there. How we getting fancy? Because I'm chopping up the meat. That is a little fancy for Cajun. Though we're using Creole spice. Can you use Creole spice to make Cajun food? And I just realized the scramble. What's up with that, scramble? Truthfully, I'm a little scared of scramble. Like, I'm happy with how our corn up here is looking. I'm going to cut the heat on that now. Pork is doing lovely as well. We're just really waiting on these grits now, which have mostly cooked through. We got a bit too much liquid in here still. We'll see if we can't cheat that a little bit by doing two things. One, I'm gonna add a little potato. Gross dishes or cute dishes? Let's say maybe a little of both. Just a little bit of light dehydrated potato to soak up a little of that moisture. And yeah, I don't know. I've sort of done a little of both. I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of like cupcakes or anything like that. That's not going to be happening here. We're not going to be doing cutesy Halloween cookies, cutesy cupcakes. We might do some sort of like cupcake or something like that, but I would say well, I wouldn't necessarily gross, but more scary, creepy dishes than cute. We'll start adding our cheese into our grits here. And turn the heat off too. Truth is, I forget a lot of it. I've done all sorts of stuff. I've done mummy calzones. I've done, like I said before, I have the brain mold that I tried doing with the cold spaghetti salad before. I did olives. I forget what I did it on though, but I did olives with their legs. I took an olive and cut it in half, and then sliced it so you had little olive legs or little olive spider legs, and then made spiders using those. But I forget what I did it on. So our cheddar is now all in there, but I want a little more color in there than that. That's still looking a little light. Can we still call it Creole if we use Kraft cheese slices in it? Can we? Let's add a little seasoning to this party. I haven't salted this yet. Yes, I added pepper and MSG along with Tony Cacciari's Kraft cheese, cheddar, half and half, butter, all with our grits. A little looser than I'd like them, but they're going to be just delicious. Just delicious. Let's give that another moment to cool down. It's going to solidify a bit. Meatballs like eyeballs. That sounds like a winner. Ooh. Squidding pasta is an interesting idea. I don't like it that much. Like, I'm not going to go through that, but squidding pasta in the brain mold, maybe with some painting on the brain mold that'll stay with the pasta. Alright, so we got our cheesy grits. Making sure our pork is nice and saucy. There we have it, folks. There we have dinner. If the camera wanted to properly focus. The rest of this I'm going to throw in. We have a fair amount in the corn already. Let's throw it in the rest of the grits. Yeah, I added a ton of cheddar. And American cheese, too. But they're a bit thinner. I also added half and half. You'll see cream often added, or milk, or them just cooked in straight milk, which makes things a lot whiter. You can certainly find grits that are more, I mean, they're corn products, so you can certainly find them that are like bright yellow. It's just a matter of finding someone other than General Mills or whoever. I'm looking forward to this. This turned out looking delicious. It's the first time I've tried this combo together. Like, I know all the flavors there. I know that's got to be delicious. It's just the first time I've made it with, like, a corn dish like that with some dairy in there, not just butter. Well, how are you sending that message if you died? You see, Chad, how are we going to get Gen Z to start drinking? I was just talking about this earlier. Actually, I wasn't suggesting how we're going to do it. I was curious how the alcohol companies were going to do it. Gearboxman. Well, thank you for your TED Talk, Pope. Appreciate that. I'm still going to feature wine on my stream. And I think this is probably a good place to leave things for the evenings. See who we got out here in Twitch land tonight. We do have more Creole coming up. Gonna be doing gumbo tomorrow. So we're gonna be doing soup tomorrow. Wednesday we got the ingredient challenge as always. Friday we're gonna be doing pasta jambalaya, but made with pasta instead of rice. Greatly appreciate all of you spending your time with me and hanging out with me. I enjoy hanging out with all of you. I thought this was a great dinner. Grits could maybe be a little more thicker, but I sort of deserve it because I added too much liquid for how many grits I added. I should do more grits. Like, I've done grits a couple of times before. I need another excuse to do grits again, chat. Need ideas for November. Like I said, either Halloween ideas or ideas for dinners in November. Would love to hear them in the Discord. I wish you all a wonderful evening, a good start to your new week. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. Good night.